You know, in the world of medical billing, there's nothing more frustrating than payers taking money back. It's a tough reality. But did you know there are two very distinct terms for this? Recoupment and offset? Getting them mixed up can really cost you time and money. So in this explainer, we're going to clear up the difference once and for all.
So let's imagine this. You're looking through an EOB and you notice a payment is short. The insurance company took money back. So what do you call that? Is it a recoupment or is it an offset? I mean, they sound pretty similar, but trust me, they are not the same thing. And knowing which one you're dealing with is absolutely the first step to fixing the problem.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by defining what a recoupment is and then what an offset is. Then we'll put them side by side to really highlight the key differences. After that, we get to the good stuff, the practical step-by-step guide for what to do for each one. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see how they work in your day-to-day billing life.
First up, let's talk about recoupment. And the real key here, the one thing to remember, is that recoupment is all about the why behind the takeback.
So put simply, a recoupment is just the insurance company's decision. They've decided they overpaid you on a specific past claim. You know, maybe they found a coding mistake or decided a service wasn't covered after all. This is the why they're taking money back. And knowing that why is your first clue to figuring out how to fight it.
And check this out, this is taken right from a denials cheat sheet, and it's basically your action plan. Notice how the first thing it tells you to do is investigate. You need the recoupment date, the reason, the original claim number. This isn't just about making a note, it's about building your case. We'll dig into this checklist a little more in just a bit.
Okay, so if recoupment is the why, it's time to talk about our next term, the offset. And you can probably guess, this is the how.
Right, an offset is the action the payer takes to get their money. They take that amount they decided to recoup, and they just subtract it from a payment for a completely different claim. So if they decided they overpaid on Jane Doe's claim from last month, they might just take that money right out of John Smith's payment today. That move, that deduction, that's the offset.
And here's the other side of that cheat sheet for when you see offset applied on an EOB. This is your treasure map. It's all about tracing the money. You're asking, where did this deduction come from and which original claim caused all this trouble? You're using the how to get back to the why.
So now let's put them together side by side to make this distinction totally clear. This right here is the core of what you need to remember.
It honestly is that simple. A recoupment is the decision, the why. It's the payer saying, we're taking back money from claim A. The offset is the action, the how. It's them actually deducting that money from the payment for claim B. You can't have an offset without a recoupment decision coming first.
All right, knowing the definitions is great, but what do you actually do when a payer tells you they're recouping a claim? Let's get into the practical, real-world steps.
Okay, so the moment a payer notifies you about a recoupment, you're on an intel gathering mission. You have to get these key details. What was the exact date they made the decision? What is the specific reason? Don't let them give you a vague answer. Get the original claim number, the exact dollar amount, and, this is a big one, always get a call reference number and the name of the representative you spoke with. This is the evidence you need for your appeal.
Now let's flip to the other side of the coin. What do you do when you just see an offset that's already been applied to a payment? Well, the information you need to gather is a little bit different.
Yeah, handling an offset makes you a bit of a detective. You start with the evidence in front of you, the current claim that was paid short. From there, you have to work backward. You call the payer and ask, hey, this offset here, what original claim is this from? You need to get that patient's name and the original claim number. That's what connects the offset back to the recoupment. And always ask for the total negative balance for your practice and request a copy of the EOB. You've got to have that paper trail.
All right, let's pull this all together, because even though they're two different concepts, in the real world, you almost never see one without the other. They're a package deal.
It's a classic cause and effect relationship. First, the payer makes the recoupment decision on claim A. That's the cause. Then, they perform the offset action against the payment for claim B. That's the effect. The why leads directly to the how.
So what's the game plan when this happens? It boils down to a really simple three-step process. Step 1. Investigate the why. You have to get the reason for that original recoupment so you can figure out if you can appeal it. Step 2. Follow the money. Use that offset checklist to track where the funds were actually taken from. And Step 3, and please don't skip this, verify your posting. You have to make sure these adjustments are reflected correctly in your system, or your accounts receivable will be a mess.
So here's the bottom line. You can't fight what you can't name. When a payer takes money, just knowing whether to ask about the why The recoupment, or the how, the offset, is your single most powerful tool. It completely changes the conversation and puts you back in control.
So, the next time you see a payment discrepancy, don't just call it a take-back. Ask yourself, am I investigating the reason for this, the recoupment, or am I tracing the action, the offset? Making that distinction is the difference between being reactive and being strategic, and it will get you to a resolution and get your money back so much faster.